Fear isn't loud. It doesn't scream or demand attention. Instead, it whispers quietly, convincing you to wait just a little longer, to doubt yourself one more time, to stay in your comfort zone just a little bit more. It hides behind logic, pretends to protect you, and keeps you from taking the very actions that would transform your life. The truth is, fear is a mental parasite. It feeds on indecision, grows in the silence of your dreams, and flourishes where there is no clarity. But what if you could eliminate it? What if you could reprogram your mind to function without the influence of fear? Where your thoughts, habits, and beliefs are aligned with confidence, vision, and unstoppable drive? That is exactly what you're going to learn right now. Get ready to understand fear, outsmart it, and remove it from your path for good. The first thing you must realize is this: fear is a learned response. No one is born afraid of failure, rejection, or loss. These are installed over time through experiences, beliefs we adopt from others, and most of all, the stories we tell ourselves. The mind is not your enemy. It simply follows the instructions you give it, whether consciously or unconsciously. That means if your mind is constantly repeating messages like "I can't," "what if I fail," or "I'm not ready," you are programming fear to run the show. And every time you hesitate, every time you procrastinate, every time you give in to doubt, you reinforce that fear circuit. But here's the key: if fear can be learned, it can also be unlearned. And it begins by identifying the root, and then systematically replacing it with a new mental operating system based on clarity, action, and self-command. There are 6 types of fear that quietly shape our behavior. Fear of not having enough, fear of being judged, fear of getting sick, fear of losing someone, fear of aging or becoming irrelevant, and fear of death or finality. These fears often don't appear outright, they disguise themselves. Fear of not having enough turns into obsessive overworking. Fear of criticism becomes perfectionism. Fear of loss can become jealousy or attachment. What's powerful is that when you name the fear, you reduce its power. Awareness makes it visible, and visibility makes it manageable. Once you expose fear's tricks, you stop reacting blindly. You begin responding with intention. And when that happens, something magical unfolds. Your true self begins to emerge. There's a condition far more dangerous than fear itself. It's called drifting. Drifting is when you go through life without a clear purpose, letting circumstances guide your actions instead of your inner vision. People in this state aren't living, they're existing. They wake up and go through the motions, always feeling like something's missing, but never sure what. Drifting is what allows fear to root deeply into your subconscious. It's what keeps people in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, and routines that don't inspire. To destroy fear, you must destroy drifting. And the weapon to do that is definiteness of purpose. When you know exactly what you want, and you hold that image in your mind with emotion and conviction, fear loses its grip because you no longer have time or energy to entertain it. Purpose is the ultimate power source. It brings direction where there was confusion. It brings fuel where there was fatigue. It brings clarity where there was doubt. Once you define what success, peace, abundance truly mean to you, not someone else's definition, not society's, you create a map for your mind to follow. Your subconscious, once trained, will begin guiding your thoughts, decisions, and actions in that direction automatically. But a purpose without belief is like a car without an engine. That's why the next step is to train your mind to believe in what it cannot yet see. That is where mental rehearsal or visualization becomes a daily necessity, not a luxury. Every morning and every night, when the mind is in its most programmable state, you must feed it new instructions. You must see yourself already living the life you desire, experiencing the emotions, making the moves, embodying the confidence. This creates mental certainty before physical evidence appears, and certainty destroys fear, because fear thrives in uncertainty. When your inner world becomes more vivid, more real than your outer world, your thoughts begin to reshape reality. Your brain cannot tell the difference between imagined success and real success. It begins releasing chemicals, forming connections, and generating behaviors that align with your imagined state. And soon, your outer world begins to reflect your inner world. But to maintain this state, you need self-discipline. It's not the kind that feels heavy or forced, but the kind that flows from inner commitment. Discipline is freedom when it's aligned with vision, It's the refusal to be distracted by low-vibration habits, toxic people, and fear-based thinking. It's choosing what you want most over what you want right now. Every time you stay loyal to your higher self, if even in small choices you weaken fear's voice, you prove to your brain that you're in control, that you are the master, not the servant, and that control builds momentum. Each decision stacks on the last until your identity begins to shift, not just what you do, but who you are. Another tool that amplifies this transformation is silence. In stillness, we access the most powerful part of the mind, the subconscious. Through daily moments of meditation, breathing, and mental stillness, you enter a state where fear cannot exist. In that silence, clarity rises, ideas surface. Inner strength is activated. Many avoid silence because they fear what they might feel or discover, but what they don't realize is that silence is not emptiness, it is access. Access to the creative power, to peace, to answers that the noisy world can't provide. Once you experience that stillness regularly, fear begins to dissolve on its own because there's no longer space for it to survive. Your environment must match your inner evolution. It's not just about mindset. It's about setting up your life to support the new you. Remove triggers of fear. Eliminate distractions that steal your attention. Surround yourself with energy that uplifts. People who think bigger. Places that reflect your values. Content that fuels your mission. Fear needs chaos to thrive. Order destroys fear. Simplicity kills confusion. Clarity brings peace. You don't need more, just better. Better focus. Better inputs. Better alignment. This is how you take control of your life at every level. Finally, you must understand that fear is not something to fight, it's something to outgrow. As your awareness expands, as your vision grows, as your belief deepens, fear naturally fades into the background. It becomes irrelevant. Because once your focus is fully immersed in creation, in purpose, in expansion, there is simply no room left for fear. It cannot exist where faith, intention, and discipline are present. The mind becomes your ally. The path becomes your playground, and every moment becomes an opportunity to rise. If this message awakens something in you, subscribe now to my Superminded place where powerful minds come to rise above limits and design extraordinary lives. Share your experience below. What fear are you ready to destroy? What dream are you ready to reclaim? Together, we are building more than a channel. We are building a movement, one mind at a time.